Growing up, I loved Indiana Jones. And by loved, I mean I was obsessed. I think I was Indiana for Halloween about 3 times in a row. I still remember how taboo it was to watch Temple of Doom when my parents told me it was too violent and gory to watch. They said it would give me nightmares, and they were right, but it was so worth it. Being such a fan, you can imagine how excited I was when West Coast Video got a copy of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom on their rental shelf. I still remember running home with the cartridge super excited to play. If only I could go back in time and warn myself that the game I was about to play was nothing more than a turd sandwich. I mean, just look at it. It's a convoluted mess of an arcade port. It was just another disappointing weekend I wasted my game rental on. Not the worst game I've ever played, but definitely not the best. Little did I know that the answer to my Indiana Jones Nintendo woes was sitting in Japan. What you're looking at is Miracle of Almana, a game for the Famicom Disk System. The Famicom Disk System, or FDS, was a Japan-only release, so those of us in the US were just shit out of luck. As a matter of fact, the only reason I know about this game is because I came across an extremely rare reproduction cartridge a fan did all on their own. Yep, it's completely in English, and the only thing that's missing are a couple of sounds, since the Famicom and NES had totally different sound setups. Now I know what you're thinking, yeah, but there was no Indiana Jones in the Miracle of Almana, and you're right, but just look at the opening title sequence. Minus the Shankara Stone, it's the Temple of Doom's plotline. Look at your character. I'm no graphic designer, but he sure as shit looks like Indiana Jones to me. And the biggest piece of evidence is the jumping grapple mechanic. Color it in brown and it could be a whip. I mean, look at the enemies you're fighting. It's a conspiracy, I tell you. They held out on us for all these years and only fixed it with the SNES Indiana Jones game. Okay, all Indiana Jones conspiracies aside, Miracle of Almana is a challenging but really fun game that has a lot of the Konami polish and fun that we've all come to know and love. The grapple mechanic looks a lot to me like an early attempt of Bionic Commando, and the character resembles a sprite of Bayou Billy. The game itself is pretty straightforward. You go from level to level trying to get to a boss. You have several different weapons to use which all have limited supply. You can get more by killing red colored enemies. If I can offer a word of advice, save the red ball weapon. Yeah, save your balls. They can harm the bosses at the end of each level, and frankly it's the easiest way to kill the last boss. Out of all the bosses in this game, I think this one's my favorite. Where else can you find a giant octopus that shoots diarrhea at you every time it pops out of a wall? You can see I'm having a hard time because I'm low on supplies, and that is actually a key to this game. Managing the supply of weapons that you have is really important, and if you find that you're running out, you need to spend time farming up some extra items, because when you get to the boss fight, you'll run out and there won't be any way for you to beat it. My only frustration playing the game, other than wondering why the hell we never got this game in the United States, has to do with some of the jumping. Early on, you learn that if you throw your grapple out and jump, you can grapple a little bit higher. Master this skill immediately, because you will need it to get through levels, and without it, you will get very pissed off very quickly. The last boss is, well, really hard if you don't have red balls. When I first beat this, I spent my time gathering up a ton of them. I think you need between 30 and 40 to win. In the end, you can mute the TV and sing the Indiana Jones theme to make you feel better that you never got the chance to play this if you lived in the United States. In conclusion, Miracle of Almana is a great game, but one that is really hard to come by if you don't own a Famicom and the Disk System. If you happen to be lucky enough to come across the reproduction, it is totally worth it to buy. Not only is it a good game, but it's the Indiana Jones game we've all deserved in the United States, but unfortunately never got.